Hello and welcome to Think Watercolour. I came across this photo the other day when looking through some old holiday snaps. It's a little village on the island of Corfu, and I took the picture around 40 years ago. I thought it would make a good subject for a demonstration, but rather than paint the whole image, I decided to crop it to the area around the old three-wheeled truck being shaded by a vine tree. This has all the elements of a good composition with contrasting lights against darks and warms against cools. So I've sketched it on a quarter sheet of Saunders Waterford 300-gram rough paper, and I've used a little bit of artistic license by moving the trunk of the vine tree to the other side of the doorway, just to make a more visual feature of the doorway. I've also changed the top of the building in the background to become a blue sky. I've pre-mixed a few wells of the main colours I intend to use for this demo, and starting with the sky, I've mixed cerulean blue with a touch of cobalt blue. I've got my board at a slight angle and I'm going to turn it upside down because I want the sky where it touches the building to be lighter, so I'm just starting with some clean water and then I'm dropping in the cerulean cobalt mix. Just adding more pigment as I come down the page. Just letting gravity do the work here. Just adding more pigment at the what is effectively the top of the sky. Just wiping any excess paint off so I don't get any runbacks. Okay, that should be fine. Now I'm going to start on the main building, and I'm using Naples yellow, very weak mix, just for the underpainting. And I'm keeping a fair amount of water on the page here, letting it run down, forming a bead. And while it's still wet, I can then use this other mix, which is light red, slightly stronger mix, more pigment, and just dropping it in while it's wet and let it just all blend together. Let gravity do the work again and pull the pigment down the page. And with that bead still wet, I can now continue with the Naples yellow down the page to the base of that side of the building. The background building this is just an initial wash for that'll be covered up, but just putting some colour there just to take the whiteness off the paper. Again, taking it all the way down to the bottom with that bead of paint. And again, while it's wet, just turn the board upside down again, just to let the pigment on that red just run down and blend in naturally. Just adding a little bit more at the base of the building. Once this is dry, I'll use some dry brush strokes on it a bit later, but for the time being, that's fine. And while the paper's still wet, I'm just using the side of a detail brush just to scumble in the rough area where the leaves on the vine are. Just an initial wash. This is sap green, very weak mix. For the shutters on the upper windows, I'm using a mix of Viridian and a touch of sap green just to kill the brightness. Viridian's quite a bright colour, but I wanted a strong green for these shutters. The trick with any reference is not to slavishly copy it and interpret it your own way, and once I add some darker red to the building, you'll see how the complementary colours work together. For the shadows on the windows, I'm just making them a bit darker than the reference, just to try and create a contrast between the white of the brickwork around the windows and the shadow. I'm using light red at the top of the shadow and blending it with some ultramarine mixed with a touch of imperial purple. And as you can see, they blend together quite well to create this quite nice effect and suggest a bright day with quite deep shadows in the window frame. Just letting them blend together naturally. The door is quite a strong red, so I've added a little bit more pigment to the light red mix, so it's a little bit stronger, and I'll add the shadow later. And as you can see, as I paint these darker shadows in, the image becomes more of a bright sunlit day. I'm now using a flat brush just to do some dry brush technique. If you press down on the brush and then flick upwards, you will pick up some texture of the paper. And I'm trying to create a rough feel to the base of the wall, and I'll do the same at the top and just create the illusion of a rather weathered old building in bright sunlight. Try not to have too much paint in the brush when you're doing this technique. Dry brush, you need to just dry your brush off a little bit before you actually scumble it across the paper. And again, using the edge of a flat brush, I'm just indicating a little bit of shadow under the white surround of the windows and to the left as well, where there'll be a little bit of shadow too. Just using the edge of the brush. Just adds a little bit of three-dimensionality to the painting. For the shaded inside of the right-hand shutters on those upper windows, I'm just using a stronger mix of the Viridian with a touch of jadeite green added just to darken it. And then using the same dark green to indicate the hinges on the shutters. I'm just adding the shadow on the curved arch of the door frame, and just not forgetting the shadow down the left hand side of that stonework. Using the same colours as I used on the windows. And here using the same light red mix, slightly more pigment, just painting the underside of those overhanging roof tiles. And then just using that light red, slightly stronger mix, just indicating the curvature of the overhanging tiles. And then dropping in some of that shadow mix, just to let it all blend together. Here I'm using the flat brush again with a dry brush technique, just to suggest some texture and roughness on those old shutters, just to age them a little bit. Again, I'm using very little pigment on the brush and wiping off any excess paint, so you get this lovely dry brush technique, just scumbling it onto the shutters there. Here I'm starting on the shaded areas under the staircase and under the awning at the top of the building, just using red and the mixture of ultramarine and purple. Letting it all blend together to create really strong shadows. I want some contrast against the sunlit building on the left. Again, I'm reinterpreting the reference because it's fairly vague, the detail at the top of that building anyway, so just making this bit up as I go along, really. Here I'm being careful to leave some rough areas and loose areas at the base of that shadow for where the leaves on the vine are going to be. Dropping more pigment in wet, letting it all blend together on the page. Here I'm painting the right hand side of the truck, which is in a little bit of sunlight, and just using the same green mix as I use for the shutters, but with a lot more water in it, less pigment, so it dries lighter. Just adding a few shadows under the steps on that staircase. Just using a flat brush to drag the paint down a little bit, just to add a bit of dimensionality to the staircase. And a little bit of shadow in that corner. That's in sunlight, so the shadow is quite weak compared to the left-hand side of the staircase. For the main body of the truck, I'm going to slowly make the green darker as I go towards the left by adding a touch of neutral tint to the jadeite green, and I'll use the same mix for the shadow under the truck as well. More pigment, less water. As you can see, the right hand side of the truck is lighter, just letting it all blend together. Just painting around where the tail lights of the truck are. I'll add those later, just a dot of red each. Just left a little streak of white to suggest some reflection at the back of the truck. And I've left a gap underneath where there's you can see the front tyre, and the light shines through that part above the axle. And then I'll be painting the shadow again using the same colour. It's a nice strong dark colour, so it works very well for the shadow. As you can see, once you start painting the darker areas, you get this lovely contrast, and it really makes it look like a very bright sunny day. Just using some Van Dyke Brown for the trunks of the vine tree, just dropping in a little bit more pigment here and there, just to have a bit of variety. As I said at the start, I used a bit of artistic license and moved the left-hand trunk to the other side of the doorway, just to allow the doorway to stand out a little bit more. Here I've gone back to the small detail brush for the leaves on the vine tree, starting with sap green, just scumbling it around the page, suggesting leaves here and there sticking out from the tree, and a few darker patches. And I'm going to add more darker patches with the other green mixes that I've already made up. By using the same green mixes, you help to create harmony in the painting. And as you can see, once you start adding darks, it really brings it together. And here I'm using that same mix of ultramarine and purple, just to create the shadows cast by the leaves on the vine. Being careful to follow the line of the slab of concrete that's on the left-hand side by the door, and the steps leading up to the doorway. For the poles and supports of the canopies, I'm just using that same light red mix, but with more pigment. Just painting the left-hand side of the poles with a lot of pigment, and then just adding some water just to soften it so that the right hand side of each pole looks a little bit lighter. And as I come to the end of the painting, just adding these final details just creates that finished look, just adding a bit of darkness to the end of that pole there. And I've got to just add a little bit of shadow underneath the horizontal poles. A couple of dots of red for the tail lights on the truck. A few highlights here and there with some white gouache just to indicate a little bit of reflection of the sunlight on that right hand side of the truck. And I think I'm pretty much done. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you found this demonstration useful. If you did, do give it a like, it really helps with YouTube. I often wonder if I've said enough in these videos or if I've said too much, but I do hope what I've said has been helpful. If you're not a subscriber, do subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos. And once more, thanks for watching.